this lined up. There. Light's terrible, but what can I do? So I'm going to be painting the eyes right here using toothpicks and this black paint because it's unforgiving. Sorry for the bad focus. Cell phones suck. But this is my Stormtrooper, the body, the legs, as you can see. And I've worked on this for a little bit. I have other videos. This will be turned into a full video, but the belt I had cut off originally. I need to get some key lights. This is absurd. Maybe that's better. But it's the way my table's set up and the thing's just autofocusing like crazy. But anyways, custom belt, all custom colors because I wanted like that kind of desert look. So when I do some toy photography, it'll look much better. We're gonna have to glue some stuff. We're gonna be painting some stuff, and we're gonna do a lot of weathering. That's like the main thing. So originally, I ran out of stuff, so it's just kind of gonna be whatever, you know. And of course, I forgot to plug in my thing. Shower. So yeah, we're gonna be doing. Ooh, ooh. Be doing a bunch of different stuff at once. So basically, gonna be weathering this and be gluing on these parts because they were all originally one piece, but I had to cut it off so I could paint them separately. I have pieces outside warming up in the sun so I can reattach them. Like the hands will go into the thing, and I went with a lot of khakis and sand colors and brown for like a leather, but I am going to sit there and do some weathering on the things. I also just painted these guys, so they're kind of tacky because I forgot about them, but they'll dry. That paint can was shot, so we're gonna basically we're gonna glue this on first, and what we're gonna be doing is trying to get through this figure today. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it, but the idea is am I running out of glue here? I might have run out of glue. Oh no. I thought there was some left. Okay. And these cans of paint I used were like really old, and no matter how much I shook them up and got them all ready and stuff like that, I'm gonna have to use epoxy. That's empty, so that's trash. Um, the 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 paint stuck to the plastic weird, even though I had prepped it beforehand. But it kind of worked out because it's got all these chipping marks. This is my first time trying to paint joints on a figure too, so as expected, I figured the paint was going to wear off, and I'm not terribly worried about it because it is just me attempting to make my own like custom paint job. I want to weather him anyway, so I'm like okay with the chips missing from the paint in spots. It's not the end of the world because in the end he's supposed to look beat up. So sorry, I'm grabbing some epoxy. We're gonna glue the armor on right now. Now we're gonna glue the armor on. At least let it adhere in one spot. I really wanted that other stuff to for this, but it's apparently I ran out of it and had no idea. And this stuff works. It's just it tends to take a little longer to dry. That Loctite stuff is pretty quick. This stuff is super thick and doesn't even want to go out yet. And it smells more than the other one. Come on, man. This is what I don't like about this stuff at all. I'm just gonna do it the old school way. I'm going to grab this piece is done, so we're gonna drop that off over there. And oops, making a mess here. And we're just gonna get a little bit there on the end of our pokey stick. We're gonna add it right here on this little. That was more than I wanted to add, but it'll work. Also, the other reason why I don't really care for this stuff too much on figures per se is it is stringy. So, and it's just all around a pain in the fucking ass to use. And so, yeah, see, I already have some poking up where I don't want it to, and it's exactly what I was trying to avoid. It's stringy, so I inadvertently might have just ruined my figure, but I'll get in there with some weathering and mess it up a little bit so it won't be so bad, but I'll know it's there and that'll bother me. But I'm a perfectionist, but I keep telling myself this is your first time painting one of these. It's not a model kit. The joints are all different. Never taken part of Black Series and found that their joints are very difficult to manipulate for painting. Not so much these, but these ones, specifically the knees and the elbows were. And in fact, I'm gonna go grab the other pieces that are warming up so I can attach them and we can start some weathering. And we're just gonna use some basic weathering kits. To me, it makes these, but Hobby Lobby also carries their version, which works just as well. So and you gotta love that desert sun. The desert sun heats up your plastic for reassembly so much faster. In fact, I forgot to take the sticky out of this one. And so see how easy that went in right there? Same with this one's probably gonna be just as easy. Yeah. And the paint, I used masking tape. I was gonna paint like a stripe for just like whatever, like a black stripe to chip it. And this has been top coated and painted and then top coated, and the tape, even after it's sitting out here for 3 days, still lifted the paint up. So you can see I got a little bit of a odd weathering mark. I don't know if you can see it very well, but there it is right there. But we're gonna go with it, and so get the knee back in there. Same thing with this one. And trust me when I say putting that in the desert sun for a good 10 minutes was better than trying to force it in there like that, because I'll tell you what, it was difficult. And so we're gonna let this continue to dry for a little bit. And now we're gonna get in here and glue the crotch plate back on, or I believe they called it a cod piece. this is all one piece, and it was cut off so I could paint the belt a completely different color. Let's make sure there's nothing on my fingers. And so the belt will be going on like that and looking leathery. But yeah, there we have it so far. And this is a flat sand, and I forget the other color. Color is not on the can, but they look similar. One's more. It almost looks like it's more gray. This is the flat sand. We should probably put the butt plate on. Let's put the butt plate on. Let's put it on after. I want to put the belt on first, but I need the belt to dry. So what we're gonna do. Set this aside. And what I am also going to do, oh, the arms. I forgot about the arms. That's right. They're also in there very well, and now they're in there very well, or they're in there back. And see, you can see where the joints are so tight that they just there was no way for me to get the joints apart in the elbow, so I couldn't actually like give it a little sand job in between, so there was less friction on that particular spot. But you know, it's ease what it is. And he will also be wearing a cloth shoulder pauldron that I stole off another custom I made. Well, the other custom I made, I didn't really paint it. I just put a female head on it, and see, I just chipped the paint trying to get this on here. Might have to go set this one back out in the sun. But I have a mountain trooper from the first order. Yeah, I'm gonna go put this one back out in the sun just so it can get a little warm and loosened up again. Best way to pop the joints in, because the paint is chipping a lot, regardless of me priming and top coat. And I think part of it is just because of the friction, and because I believe the paint were. I mean, I've had the spray cans for a long time, so I just they're old. So I'm gonna go stick this out in the thing real quick. Hey, what's up? What's going on? Volume is low again, huh? There's nothing I can really do about that. So it's fucking YouTube. But anyway, I don't know. I can't control the volume at all. It's on my phone, so all I can do is mute and then Oh, it muted itself. That's why. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right. Yeah, my phone has been doing some weird stuff lately, so it's a little troubling. And the lights are just really bad in here, so sorry. I have to keep doing weird stuff so I can see what I'm doing. I need to really sit down and consider if I want to keep doing this, that I need to purchase some lights that come in like this from behind or from in front this way, because the one right above me, the phone's like casting a shadow, and it can cause some unprofessional looking crap going on. Like right now, my paint job is looking chunky, but it's because I can't see. So, oh yeah, my phone's like going on what 3 years old now, and I keep seeing ads for like, oh, buy the S26 Ultra, and I'm just kind of like, dude, like why? Oh, and the one thing too is every time I delete crap tons of like old photos and videos, the space gets filled up automatically from something else, and I don't even know why. So, Max, go away, dude. I haven't painted like this in a long time, so I'm like, oh no! But I can't. As soon as I lift up, I can't see like at all. It's just like this dark blob. It's definitely a combination of my lights and position of the table. Like if I move the table and had the light kind of like over me and not my phone, I wouldn't have this shadow cast. But sorry. I can't even see what I'm doing. That's better. This eyeball is just chunky monkey. Actually, I got an idea. There's this thing. Oh, that just made it worse. Great. Well, this is my first time trying to do this. So, different kind of plastic than Gundam, and I guess that's why this is called the Junkyard, because everything's fucking junky and doesn't work right. little marks on the back of the helmet I'm trying to paint too, but pretty difficult when you can't fucking see. That doesn't help. That doesn't help either. See, I need it like this over here. First world problems. First world problems. Now these two squares that I'm painting, I don't exactly need them to be dead perfect as long as they stay within the square, because I'm going to be doing some weathering over here. These glares. This is the problem too when you work with computers all day, is like your eyes go to shit from just staring at screens. That's definitely something I've been struggling with. I might have to get glasses or something next year, because I can see clearly, but I have a problem with what's it called? Lights being not perfectly lit, and then it's either something's too dark or too light. I don't know what that's called. My headaches are mostly from my sinuses, though. So. Yeah, I'm painting like shit. I can't even fucking see. I can't see anything. It's like too dark, too light, too dark, too light. It's definitely a lot to do with being like casting a shadow. Become a four-eye freak. Also, my paints are not being thinned out correctly. That's the other problem I realize I'm doing. So this will make a good video of what not to do when trying to make a custom figure. It's like I'm ignoring all my model building techniques to rush to get it done. See, that went on a lot better. I wear glasses for driving, but I should probably get some of those for like gaming or something. There's that. Here's some of the helmet. Wow, I didn't even realize I pushed it that far out of the way that I can't even see. You can't see what I'm even doing. So because I messed this eye up, I'm gonna come in here with weathering and just really gunk up the eyes with like the sand and stuff like that. I also want to try and get some of the paint off the rim of this thing right here. What I'm going to use is a little bit of alcohol, rubbing alcohol, I should say. Not drinking alcohol. That was too much. Now it's all over my hand. Woo! It's honestly probably not going to come off, so. And that's okay, because I have other things we can do with that in mind. What's up, man? I keep fucking it up, though. But we'll survive. weathering will cover up all the bullshit. Sorry about my Elliott stream. That shit was boring, but I needed to get that stuff done. So let's go with. Just saw it. I swear I lose more stuff than I find it. Sorry, y'all. I'm looking for a gunmetal. I guess I could use this, but it's aluminum. I wanted a darker metal color. Oh wait, maybe it's over here. No, but I did find the white paint. Well, sorry about that. I keep losing shit, so I don't even know where the gunmetal's at, which would have been. Which would have been. Let's try scraping it away. Oh, you're good, dude. Don't even worry. I wouldn't have watched that stream. I fucking hate watching. No offense to anyone, I can't stand watching fucking people play video games half the time. So. Actually, it's not that. I just can never vibe with any of the chats that I'm in. It's always like shit's over my head and I don't get it, or it's a bunch of fucking weirdos being weird. And that's saying a lot because I'm weird. So. Okay, I guess they're gonna use a little bit of this. Look at that acrylic bubble. Whee! Pop. This paint's like freaking 4 years old too. I'm surprised it's not dried up. It's a chunky monkey though. Look at that paint booger. Now I'm wondering if on my wet palette over here, if I can take a little bit of this and mix it with black to get the color I'm looking for. So, but at the same time, it's not that big of a deal. So we're gonna put a few drops over here. Of my fuck. All right, we're gonna add a little bit of aluminum to right there. it look like it's worn out and paint's chipped. Although I'm getting pretty good coverage. I'm just gonna cover the whole thing, then I'll put soot weathering on top of it, and then that should give me the look I'm looking for. Sorry, I forget the camera's way over there. I definitely should invest in one of those magnifying glass things. Okay, so that looks a lot better. So let's mix a little aluminum with some black. Make our own little gunmetal color. We're gonna come in here and Max, I'm dead serious, dude. Shit. Fucking bro. I love you, but God. I've been awake for almost 30 some odd hours, too. Trying to go to sleep, but he didn't want me to. And then Mina didn't want me to. And so that looks crappy, but I'm going to weather all that, so. I want a little bit more aluminum for this side piece right here. And this one. Okay, so we're good with the head right now. And it falls over and smears the paint that I just painted because why would anything go the way it's supposed to? So I'm gonna add a little of this silver color, like a dry brush, to the top of this stuff because it is like mechanical in nature, or not mechanical, but you know what I mean. That's too much. Too much. Well, that's all right. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but then I'm gonna apply a different weathering on top of that, so it needs to look worn out and beat up. And maybe I'll do that. Stormtrooper armor is not metal; it's like plastic, right? So having metal edges wouldn't make too much sense, I suppose. So now let's make sure. I think this is mostly dry. I need to go grab a piece real quick. I'll be right back. No. Okay, now that this is warm, I should be able to stick this in here much easier. Well, there, yeah. So there we go. do some. See how the paint just, no matter what I do, because of the tightness of the joints, the paint just kind of comes right off. But that's all right. That's all right. These are still sticky. And so that's what I ran into was some of the paints were bad. So I've been using bad paints this whole time. Like this one's incredibly sticky. I painted it with spray paint, which dries. This particular spray paint dries pretty quick. So, all right, now we're gonna Max. I'm dead serious. You are gonna get something called the taken inside in a minute. So I want to top coat these real quick and see if that helps. So I'm gonna run outside really quick. Take this as like a break for y'all. I gotta use the remainder of my top coat to seal some stuff in. It's basically on its last legs, but we're gonna get it done. We're close. These ones all needed to be top coated. I didn't need to paint these. These are like the straps that go on the legs and stuff like that, which I totally didn't put on. Shit. In fact, I wonder if I could even get that on there right now. Over the knee. Oh, I can. Okay, so that's cool. But yeah, you can see this'll go right here. I really wanted to get this done today so I could, you know, get this table cleaned up. This one goes on this arm. I'm not going to put it on there because what I'm going to be doing is adding this little thing that's going to go over the shoulder like that. And it'll be like a cloth, like half cape. But in reality is like the character could wrap it around their head to make like a hood to get out of the sand and stuff like that. And I will be attempting to weather the cloth too. So this will basically be saved for another custom someday. This one I am going to put on the forearm is like the thing. So I got to take the hand off, which whatever. Yeah, see, that'll go on like that. Chipping on that. So, and then this, I actually think I am going to. It was right in front of me the whole time. The whole time. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I want the blue to come through a little bit, but I want a little bit of that aluminum look to be on top. I still cannot see what I'm doing, so I'm just making a mess of things. Basically going to clean it up with the alcohol dude right here. I'm gonna take these things outside the top coat really quick. I'll be right back, and then we'll start doing some of the weathering, and then when these are done, we'll come back in and stick the rest of the stuff on. Like, this should be done by the time this stream's over. It's not going to look the greatest, but it's for photos, and nothing little Photoshop can't fix. So give me like 2 minutes. I gotta go top coat the speakers. You just need to chill out. And that's that. So we'll let those sit out there for like 10 minutes. Then they should be good to go. Thanks, dude. Now I'll put the top part on once I get once the belts, because I have the top coat part that I painted. I'm gonna glue the belt on. Then we're gonna glue the booty plate on wherever it went. But for the meantime, let's do some sand and light sand on the joints. I did try to modify around here. I can't even see. I'm gonna bring it back around. Sorry. I did modify the back part right here. I went too far. Sorry. Oh yeah, you're good. So I cut out some of this area, so when I move the thing, it doesn't tear the paint up too bad, but it still did it. So lesson learned. This is what happens when you don't plan very well and you kind of just make it up as you go along. Because originally I was not going to even do any of these colors. So let's see if this will work better over here. Maybe actually that causes me more issues. That's a better light. I just don't have a stand for it. Yeah, I need to buy a webcam and just start using my computer again, like OBS overlay and stuff. So, but we're gonna put the sand up in this part. It's like worse. Now I have a glare. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to figure out a good way to get my half-assed setup working here. I still can't see, but whatever. And then I did masking tape, I said like earlier. And this stuff's old too. And it kind of let me know how the paint is like old and crappy. Because what's that? And what was I saying? I forgot. Yeah, dude, I can't see anything. I'd have to have. I have like a glare. My eyes are going to shit because of working on a computer all day. That would actually be perfect if I could angle it like that. Actually, you know what? While we're on the fly here. I have this. Piece of shit, but it works. And my light's broken now. That's better. Oh, my janky setup scared away my viewers. See, now that's better. I should have just done that from the get-go. Oh, a mic. Not with my phone, though. I wanted to get one of those little ones, though. Like the DJI ones that I see people hold while they're talking. Those things are pretty cool. So I'm gonna use two different colors of sand. We're gonna use light sand, which kind of is the same color as the armor, and then we're gonna use the more yellow sand to put on like the leather parts I made or the brown stuff. And with this, you can be kind of generous, but you want to like spread it around. So it's got that like that look. And see some of the paint stripped out back there. So what I'm going to do is use another weathering kit to get in there and kind of fill in those spots. I can also do like the yellow stand on the armor. It's hard to see unless I put it on there like a little generously, but on the armor, not the armor, the kind of the mechanical pieces I painted a little minute ago, that sand goes like a long way. Also, like there'll be a gap between the armor and that, and you'll be able to tell. So I was gonna do pattern camo from the desert, but I didn't really think it would work well because of the paints I'm using, which was just trying to get through spray paint. I probably wish I could have, what's it called? Oops. What color is that? What is that? Oh, it's mud. That's cool. I like that. Doesn't really do much, but there it is so far. Can't really tell, but the feet got that yellow sand kind of thing going on it. That sandy crack thing going on. Actually, I want to try something too, since we'll be using this one. I need to make this look kind of dirty too. The sand's gotten to it. Lovely cat hair. So yeah, this cloth shoulder pauldron is gonna have the dirt and the mud's color mixed in with it. And it's like I like adding a little bit of God. There's like a lot of cat hair on here. Or is that my hair? Maybe it's my hair. I'm stressed out. I don't know. Who knows? But I like the idea of having some soft goods on it, just because. And I'll show you too once I get it on there, like the practicality of it, what I was thinking. So yeah, there's a lot of cat hair floating around. That's crazy. Dang cats. So how's everybody's day so far? Might as well shoot the shit while you watch me mess this up more. So see, that's starting to look more like a piece of cloth that's been out in the desert. Work sucks. up with all this hair? This is something that's been bothering me too. Is I can't be that blind if I can see cat hairs everywhere, but kind of yeah. See, dude, they're just everywhere. Not in the garage too, but whatever. Sorry, I'm all bitchy because I'm like trying to make my stuff look better than it actually will. Like blaming the cat hair. It's the goat's fault. So that looks dirtier. I like that. But anyway, we're gonna set that aside. Well, hold on. I'll show you guys real quick. It'll look kind of like this. So, in fact, I'm just gonna cram that together right now. And that, my friends, is that so far. Now we're gonna add more of that lighter sand look, like the edges. I will have to top coat it for it to sit in perfectly, so it won't smear. But for the most part, it'll be fine. Because I gotta go to the store tomorrow and pick up some stuff anyway, so I'll pick up a fresh can. I'm gonna do the yellow right here. Now I'm gonna set this aside real quick. I'm gonna come in here with soot. Soot I'm going to do in the joints to kind of color up that chipping of the paint. So, and that'll be fine, you know, because then you can't really tell. It won't be such a big deal. Also, not that it rusts that like that in the desert. That rust color will help on these gray pieces and on the edge. See how I don't know if you can really tell, but it's getting like dirty looking around the edges. So that's from the soot, which makes it look more grimy. Not being like overly generous with the weathering because I'm trying to make him look legit, like just straight beat up. It's not a paint flake right there that's causing an ugly look. Set back here because like he's a dirty McNerdy. Probably a little bit on the edge of the top part of his armor. He's like right there along the edge. Same thing with this right here, top, on the edge, a little bit on the edge of this one too. definitely along the back because he has like this jetpack thing I gotta glue in. So that one we're gonna put some back there definitely. But yeah, and then when this is all said and done, I will have to top coat this again. So exact. First thing I do after work tomorrow is go to Walmart or Hobby Lobby, wherever I got this. Probably it's probably Walmart. Just pick up a can of top coat. And see, adding the soot to that brown leather color kind of gives it that worn out look that I was going for. And I'm gonna go grab those pieces from outside real quick. Okay, and see that they're not sticky anymore, so that's good. Even better, I can get this mother trucker in there. I hope. Ugh, not the easiest thing in the world to do, but I feel like I'm gonna break my thumb trying to get that in there. It's probably not even in there all the way, but this was the idea. It's supposed to be like that. So what I'm gonna have to do is come in and glue this in there like that, so the arm can still move. But that was the idea of it. So we're still going to add some soot, just a little. We're also going to come back through with some dirt again. The light sand and the sand. With all the cat hair. Put on this really brighter yellow sand first. And then we're going to come back over with the lighter sand. Add a little bit to the straps because, guys in the desert getting all dirty. A little bit on the back of the hand too because it's all dirty in the fingers. And then just knock off the extra stuff. Like the top coat when it goes on tomorrow will lock it all in. So now we are going to see my paint stripped off because whatever. It's a little frustrating. You're using paints that are good on most things, but on this figure, it just wants to fight you all the time. But like I said, I've never done this before. This is a mix of different kinds of acrylic paints. Normally, if I could, I would take this guy apart completely and use lacquer paints on him, but he's got a lot of like hard plastics, soft plastics. It's like a mixed baggie. So we're gonna get this guy all glued up and ready to go. Mosquito is eating me again. It's like, hello, hello, Junkyard. So trying to remember where this goes. Oh yeah, now I remember. All right, for the fun part. I hate how it strings. So a little there, a little there, a little there, and a little there. Of course, it wants to be difficult because why not, right? I know I'm kind of like in and out of camera, but I got to be really careful. It's already in the wrong part of the stick, so the stringing is so bad. This is why I don't like using this kind of glue for this stuff. It's awful. So, and I just fucked up. So, but whatever. Like the Loctite, it would have stayed in place just fine for a minute. Now, if I did this right, I won't have to do the glue on the front. So it looks like I did, but we're gonna let it sit for a minute. Just gonna let it sit there for a second. And then we're gonna line up the ass plate. Just make sure. But yeah, that's the Stormtrooper so far. So while we wait, we're gonna do some weathering to the head a little bit. And this weathering kit's a mess. Gonna do the yellow again. lighter sand color. Full show. I'm gonna add the mud one on here. And now I'm gonna do soot because the soot seems to like solve my problems. But first, let me clean my hands off because I'm getting kind of gross there. Thanks, man. It's probably one of those things I'll pose once and never touch it again. Yeah, see the soot along the edges is definitely helps. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the eyes are all dirty. A little rust too, because fuck it. Just fuck it. Oh, because this is the other shoulder, I'm gonna do him all dirty, all dirty, rusty dirt. Now the other question is that one I'm not using. Neck peg. I have a feeling this one's gonna be an asshole. Nope, I lied. Actually, went on pretty damn decent. So sorry for the dead air. I'm just like thinking. That's in essence what he'll look like. So yeah, it'll be just I have to get on here and I don't want to use the epoxy. I want to use the Loctite super glue for that. But the idea of this shroud was that they could pull it over and be like that when the sand and the wind gets crazy. That was like what I kind of envisioned when I made this for the other trooper I had made because I gave her I took the helmet off and put a female head on the character permanently, so I can't put the helmet ever back on. So there's the drawback to that. So I'm gonna wait for this to dry just a little bit longer, and we're gonna get in there and we're gonna work on some of the joints again with some of this soot and rust. Not because it actually rusts out in the desert. It's just it's a good color to help fix the issues with the paint chip in the back, as you can see. So adding the darker weathering will help. Plus, it'll generally make the trooper look like he's seen some action. So let's get in there and try to find any spots I might have missed with white or missed covering the white, and use like soot to get in there because this dude's gonna get top coated like a motherfucker. See, his arm does not want to go in that hole, and that's the other problem I'm gonna have right now is because I could have warmed it up, but the paint is not going to be friendly very much. So, in fact, if I don't watch it, it's gonna there. That's better. But yeah, first time doing a black series. See that glue is just it doesn't want to. It's not. It doesn't want to stay very well because I keep having to manipulate things. See, it came undone. It's the epoxy's whatever. It'll work, but I just got to give it some time. So, in fact, we're gonna apply the butt plate. But it is some of the harder stuff to mess with. It's just too thick. It's too goopy, stringy. In fact, actually, you know what? We're gonna get some up here. See, it's just I don't know what's up with this stuff. I don't like it. The Loctite super glue works so much better on plastics. So we might have to come back through tomorrow and do some do a little bit of fixer uppers, but in essence, yeah. See, I gotta get in there and glue that on there too. So, but that is a stormtrooper for the most part. Desert Special Forces stormtrooper. Boom. came out pretty good. I like the colors that I went with. Still got to glue the little jetpack thing on. So, in fact, let's just get it out of the way. And of course, the arm falls out because it's just gonna fall out. And this is why I don't like that glue. Just even when you put a little bit, it just comes shooting out the top of places. So a little disappointed right now. But a little extra weathering in those spots, and what's it called? Top coat will solve those problems. So, yeah. I'm gonna wait till all this other stuff dries before I try to shove this back in there, but that's my desert stormtrooper. Not too shabby. All right, well, I'm going to end the stream right there. Let this guy dry, but I'll post some pictures on my community page. So thanks for everyone who came by and hung out and checked out the stream. In the future, I'm going to probably turn this into a longer video, so I'll let y'all know on that. But for the time being, thanks again. Stay frosty. Peace out.